It was supposed to be a quiet transition, one filled with hope, legacy, and the time-honored rituals that bind the monarchy to its past. But what unfolded behind the gates of Buckingham Palace has left royal watchers stunned, loyalists heartbroken, and King Charles III grappling with a level of emotional grief few could have imagined. In a move that has shattered more than 170 years of royal tradition, Prince William, heir to the British throne, has made a decision so bold, so irreversible, that even his own father, the reigning monarch, is said to have been left in tears. And the reason? Illness. But not just King Charles's. William's own growing fears. At the heart of this royal reckoning is a centuries-old tradition known simply as the heir's military oath, a solemn, unbroken pledge that every male heir to the throne has undertaken since the reign of Queen Victoria. For over 170 years, it stood as a rite of passage, a declaration of loyalty to both country and crown, binding each future monarch to the armed forces in spirit, in action, and in blood. But today, that tradition lies shattered. This week, as Charles continues to battle his aggressive form of cancer, his public appearances growing fewer, his words more reflective, William quietly made the unthinkable decision. He would not be taking the oath, nor would he be attending the formal armed forces convocation at Windsor, which had been scheduled for months. And the fallout has been seismic. Palace aides have confirmed that William's absence was not due to scheduling conflicts or political maneuvering. It was intentional. He made the decision himself, after what sources describe as several sleepless nights, multiple heated conversations with his father, and a final heartbreaking family gathering at Sandringham, where Charles reportedly pleaded with his son not to walk away from the tradition. But William stood firm, and his reason has stunned even his harshest critics. The Prince of Wales fears that his father's illness is worse than the public knows, and that he, too, may be at risk. An unnamed palace insider revealed, William is exhausted. He's shouldering the monarchy while trying to shield his children from the chaos. He's terrified that what happened to his mother and now to his father could happen to him. These fears are not unfounded. According to leaked reports from Kensington Palace staff, Prince William has recently undergone a private series of medical screenings, not because of a current diagnosis, but because of what has been described as genetic predispositions. Sources claim that Charles's cancer type has raised serious questions about hereditary risks, especially given the early age at which Diana was lost and the stress William now endures. Though William has not been diagnosed with any illness, his decision to break with the military oath tradition was made, in his words, to prioritize my health, my family, and the modern evolution of the monarchy. But for King Charles, it was more than just a breach of custom. It was a symbolic wound. The Imam king, ever devoted to ceremonial tradition, saw the oath not merely as pageantry, but as a sacred tie that connected father to son, monarch to nation. It was the same oath Charles himself had taken as a young man, standing before the Queen Mother, sword in hand, uniform pressed, legacy in motion. That memory, now severed by William's refusal, reportedly brought Charles to tears. A former palace press officer revealed, he sees this as more than just a tradition ending, it's the end of a promise, the end of the unbroken royal chain. Charles told aides, I gave that oath in my youth with my mother watching. To not see my son do the same, it breaks me. Behind the grandeur of royal life, it is moments like these, filled with raw emotion, historical weight, and paternal heartbreak, that expose the monarchy's fragile humanity. Yet, the pain doesn't end there. Royal courtiers are now scrambling to reframe William's decision as a modern adaptation rather than a break. Spin doctors have drafted statements that refer to the prince's commitment to mental health, military veterans, and innovation in service, all while avoiding any direct mention of the 170-year-old ritual now abandoned. But the British public has noticed. Already, veteran groups have expressed disappointment, with one high-profile military leader saying, it's a shame. The oath isn't about war. It's about unity, legacy, and honor. If we can't expect the heir to stand before the forces and pledge allegiance, who will? Still, others have defended William, arguing that this moment marks a pivotal shift in how the royal family will operate moving forward. One royal historian explained, what we're seeing is the slow dismantling of ceremonial monarchy. William isn't rejecting the crown, he's reshaping it. And perhaps that's the real story here. William's choice may not just be about fear or health. It may be about creating a monarchy that can survive in the modern world, one where symbolic oaths give way to tangible action, where royal duty is measured not by tradition, but by impact. Yet, in that shift lies great cost, especially to a father who has little time left and hope to pass on more than just a title. For Charles, this moment is doubly painful. Already weakened by chemotherapy and exhausted by emotional strain, he now must come to terms with the fact that the son he raised to uphold tradition is now the very person dismantling it. Insiders say the king's morale has hit a new low. He's canceled several meetings, shortened public appearances, and withdrawn from private audiences that were meant to bolster his image of strength. A close friend told reporters, "This has gutted him. First, Harry tore at the family's image. Now William is undoing its foundations. Charles feels surrounded by sons who are rewriting his legacy." Indeed, Prince Harry, still in the headlines following his arrest and ongoing legal troubles, has remained noticeably silent about William's decision. But behind the scenes, sources say Harry was shocked and did not expect William to be the one to break royal military protocol. One insider quipped, "Harry's always been the rebel, but now, ironically, William is making the bigger break." Meanwhile, Queen Camilla has reportedly stepped in to mediate between the king and his heir. Aides say she's urging Charles to view William's decision not as betrayal, but as evolution, an inevitable change that every monarch eventually faces. But it may be too late. As public support for the monarchy continues to decline among younger generations, the pressure on William to modernize or perish is immense. Refusing the oath may just be the first domino in a series of radical transformations to come. Already, there's talk of William declining several other ceremonial titles and removing his children from upcoming royal pageants to protect their mental health. And yet, even amid this grief, even as Charles faces the pain of tradition lost and the specter of mortality, there remains one haunting question. What kind of king will William truly become? Will he be the reformer who saves the monarchy by dragging it into the 21st century, brick by painful brick? Or will he be remembered as the heir who lets centuries of unity and symbolism fade into obscurity, one bold decision at a time? As King Charles III retreats behind palace doors, his heart heavy with illness and sorrow, and William steps further into the spotlight with eyes fixed on the future, one truth remains.